Welcome back into the kitchen with me. My name is Elaina, owner and instructor of Healthy Eats. Today we are making a one-pan Italian polenta bake. This is going to be an easy recipe that you can make any night of the week. It's quick cleanup, it's delicious, and a lot of these ingredients you're going to be able to find right in your pantry. So this is our ricotta mixture, and I start most of my dairy-free ricottas with soaked cashews. So I'm going to add the softened cashews in here with a half a cup of water. And then this is about 6 ounces of frozen cauliflower that I've defrosted. Make sure that you defrost it so that it blends up well. And then I also have a little bit of fresh minced garlic, and I really like fresh in this case because it's really going to help the dish pop and give it a lot of that earthy garlic flavor. And then nutritional yeast, you can find this at most grocery stores. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And just like we did with our pasta sauce, we're going to add a little bit of those organic Italian herbs that you can get at the grocery store in the produce section. So we're going to put the lid on, and we're just going to blend this until it's as smooth as we can get it. All right, perfect. And there we go. So that's all done. I'm going to show you what this looks like. So next I'm going to make the breadcrumbs that are going to go on top. And what I love about adding a little bit of breadcrumbs on top of an Italian dish, especially a baked one, is they get nice and crunchy and crispy, and they're going to add so much texture and dimension to your dish without feeling like you have to add like a ton of cheese to get that crunchy texture. So this is how we're going to do it, and this is a gluten-free panko breadcrumb. You can use regular panko breadcrumbs if you like to. I have a little bit of fresh chopped parsley, a little bit of chiffonade basil. I'm using a good quality olive oil, and just try out a few different olive oils and see if you like the flavor. I'm looking for a nice fruity one, but also using the garlic oil would be a great substitution. So I'm going to do just a few tablespoons, and I'm just going to eyeball it because that's how I cook at home. And then we're just simply going to mix this together. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And that is our topping for our polenta bake. So now that I have all of my components ready for my dish, I'm going to start cooking. I have my pan set on about medium heat. I'm going to add just a couple of tablespoons of that garlic olive oil, but really whatever oil you have on hand would be fine. Just try not to use an extra virgin olive oil for this because we're sauteing at a little bit of a higher temperature, and we don't want to burn our ingredients or burn our oil. So the zucchini is going in, and that's about a medium to small dice on the zucchini. And then those mushrooms, I just did a rough chop on, just so they cook up a little bit faster in the skillet, but then they're also going to have a smaller texture once the dish is finished. So we're going to saute this for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to add the marinara sauce. So at this point our vegetables have softened, and we're going to add the marinara sauce. So you're going to add the whole jar of marinara sauce and scrape out all of that as much as you can. And then when you stir it, make sure to scrape the bottom a little bit just to help get those bits up off the bottom. We're going to stir this all together, and then we're going to cook it for another 5 minutes before we start adding our next layer, which is our polenta. So we've just added the marinara sauce, and now I'm going to add the sun-dried tomato paste. You can get this at most grocery stores in the produce section. So we just want about 2 tablespoons, and this is just going to add another dimension of flavor. And then we're also using another Italian herb paste that you can also get in the produce section of most grocery stores. So we want 2 tablespoons of each of those pastes, and we're going to stir those in, and those are just going to be some awesome flavor boosters for the rest of our dish. Now that my sauce is done, I'm going to start layering the polenta. So I've cut the polenta into about a 1/2 inch round piece. So while I'm layering this, I'm just going to kind of press it down into the sauce. And if they overlap just a little bit, that is okay. But the goal is to get all of these in the pan. So now that the polenta is all nestled in there and it's swimming and having a party in the sauce, we're gonna add a little bit of the ricotta. And I'm gonna do this in dollops around the pan. And then I'm just gonna take the back of my spoon and then just gently smooth it out around the top. Now I'm going to use those sliced Roma tomatoes, and I'm just going to layer those just like I did with the polenta. I'm just going to layer those around the top, and then I'm going to get this into the oven. So now that I have the marinara sauce in there, the polenta, the ricotta mixture, and then those nice, beautiful sliced Roma tomatoes on the top, I'm going to put a little bit of our herbed breadcrumbs. And I love using these because it's going to add so much flavor. That looks gorgeous. Now I'm going to get this into a 425-degree oven for about 10 minutes. That's just going to be enough just to bring everything together, warm up the polenta, crisp up our breadcrumbs on the top, and then we're going to have dinner on the table in no time at all. So I'm going to go ahead and plate the dish up, and I like to let this cool for just a little bit so that we can scoop it a little bit easier. And look at that. It's so pretty. It's so delicious, it's so warm, and it's so filling. So on a topping, I'm gonna add just a little bit more of my fresh garnish because that's what's gonna make it look really, really pretty. And then you can add a little bit of Parmesan cheese if you like, or a little bit of feta cheese. Whichever you decide to use, it's just gonna add that nice cheesy taste that you're looking for. But honestly, if it's just like this, it's gonna be perfect and delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you really enjoy this recipe. Have a great time cooking in the kitchen, and bon appetit.